especially after they lost 2 of the first 3. Nobody thought that.
This is a good point by Reed right here. This is something we can discuss, Reed. I like this right here.
That's the question.
Is something.
Yeah.
This is a great question. Great question, Reed. Thank you for participating and continue. Now, this is something that I would like to preference for the coaching staff. Although we're so dependent on our great player who had such a great season, but I do think staff should have prepared for moments like this, whether it be foul trouble, injuries, to get a player prepared in case of this moment, to be prepared for the worst in case it happens. And Houston wasn't prepared. Although they made adjustments second half, good second half, and like we mentioned, gave credit to the coaches. So I hopefully they see that before I say this. But I still think they should have been prepared for a moment like this and had someone ready and to be able to execute some form of a game plan or some form of a leader to step up. LJ stepped up. I will say that. J1 stepped up too. So the leader was the leader. But I still get what Reed is saying with this question, with this comment. And I think that's a question for the coaching staff. And I think they could have did a better job of having the team prepared for it. Although it's a great player, that's kind of nitpicking, but still.
For next year, it's definitely going to be tough. I think you're going to pencil one in right now. Obviously, we don't know who are going to be the players that end up returning and who choose to pursue different opportunities. But think of someone that we would imagine would be back for potentially his 3rd season. You'd have to pencil in Emmanuel Sharp. If he comes back, I wouldn't be surprised if he throws in his name to at least go through and get feedback through the NBA draft process this season. But I think you got to pencil in Emmanuel Sharp. Would be entering his 3rd season. And he, from a freshman, from a redshirt, he's been around the program for a while.
Yeah. Terrence, too, I think.
I mean, technically he's a redshirt sophomore, so he joined in January. So he's kind of been here, 2.5, if not 3 full seasons already.
Mm-hmm.
But Coach Sampson will determine who the leader is. The question we have brought up and ponder, is who from the portal will replace Jamal Shead. It won't be for a lack of interest from other players. My phone blew up earlier. Well, it's now Saturday. Friday, we think about this kid. We think about this. What's this kid? Some of those kids that were hit up on me by folks, those kids are not Kelvin Sampson players. I'm not going to mention their names and denigrate them, but y'all can tell what a Kelvin Sampson player is, and some of these kids aren't that. Okay? But it's a question. Who will the staff get to replace Jamal Shead? Is coming from the portal. That much I know. I don't know who it's going to be, but that is the biggest question, because the other positions, if they're healthy, they're fine. They got depth at almost every other position. But boy, that point guard spot, as Coach Sampson said in a recent press conference, you cannot miss on the point guard position when it comes to evaluation. So that is the key. Who are they going to select to be the Jamal Shead? Because he's going to be the starting point guard. So coming from the portal, adjusting to the Kelvin Sampson way, and start for this team that has high expectations next season, that's a lot on the plate.
And also, we must preface that by saying, I think learning from this year is also as equally as important in having a backup point guard, someone that could equally run the offense just as efficient and be a playmaker like Coach Sampson's need going into next year. I think that's equally as important, whether it be one of the younger guards or whoever it be. That way, if that transfer player may be a 1 year, 2 year, never know the case, I think it's important to have that backup point guard and building that player up to be prepared to step up for the following year as well.
I think we might see more minutes from Emmanuel Sharp running the offense next year as the backup to whoever the lead replacement is, as a facilitator kind of offense, someone like that. But it's all going to depend, because Mercy Miller is probably going to redshirt to grow into the position, grow into the culture. And then we'll see if LJ comes back. I don't know if he does or not, but he could be the spot backup point guard when the lead person sits down for those 5 minutes a game. But no, Ryan Kugel, some of y'all go research how his season ended in Florida. Just gonna say it like that.
Looking ahead at the players that are coming back that we know for sure, Javier Francis, center, solidified. He's going to be the starting center again for Houston.
I don't know about that.
Really? Well, if he's not the starting center, you would imagine that they would get someone from the transfer portal.
Oh, no.
Or would they start JoJo Tugler?
That's what I'm saying. It depends on how a young fella progresses. I mean, he's coming. It's a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
I agree with you, Andy. Yeah. No, Javier is a starting center. I don't even think that's for debate. JoJo is going to be at the 4th spot. Yeah, I think he's going to develop.
If Juwan comes back, will he be?
J1, I'm not even speaking as if J1 is coming back. He's not. I don't think he's coming back.
I think that's more of a certainty than Jamal Shead or anybody else.
I mean, because their professional career, the trajectory is different. So I can envision him coming back and envision that decision different. But I don't think he will. If he do, then that's a different case scenario. But I still would expect Javier to start, even if he did.
Do they? If Juwan Roberts come back and they end up moving Javier Francis to the bench,
he transfers. Javier if Javier is not a starter next year, I will say he'll hit the transfer portal.
Let me say it what I'm saying. If JoJo is better than him in practice, he's going to start. They're not just going to give Jay the
man. I don't care if Javier. If JoJo's in front of J1, he'll hit the portal, and I would suggest he do. Nah.
Okay, but
he ain't coming back to go sit on no bench.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying in practice. If JoJo beats him in practice, whose fault is that? If any coach, so you're going to start a player who's not deserving of it? Is that what y'all are saying?
I'm not saying it. I'm just saying from a player's perspective. I'm not even thinking about a coach's decision. That's the coach's decision. I'm looking at it strictly from a player's perspective. And the player's perspective, a player like he is, and how much they talked about him being able to play to get that experience, that shows that he is their center going forward. It makes no sense in the thinking of what they said to even think about him not being a starter. And if what they said to now you change that coming from what you told a player to, well, you got beat out this year, you go back to the bench. Nah, that don't even make sense.
So it doesn't make sense if JoJo wins a job in practice. That's what I'm saying. If he wins the job in practice, so it doesn't make sense.
Javier is leaving. That's what I say.
Well, again, if JoJo wins the job in practice, that's Jay's problem. That's not Houston's problem.
Whoever problem, it would be Houston's problem because they were missing as a player. So it'd be I will
also preface that's the scenario if Juwan Roberts comes back. Realistic. What if you're going to put a percentage, Chris? What percentage would you put of him coming back?
50, if not higher, because he's going to spend a lot of this offseason getting healthy and going through surgery and stuff like that. Yeah, he's got to get healthy because he's not. He battled through a lot of injuries this season. He's got to get healthy, and that's going to limit his pro possibilities, which may be another reason that he decides to come back.
All right, in that scenario, I guess that'd be for Houston, the coaching staff, that'd be a good problem to have if you're trying to figure out who's going to end up starting if he does indeed come back. Other returning players, Terrence Arsenault, Dan, like you mentioned, I think him definitely is going to be very interesting to see how he comes back because an Achilles injury is definitely one of the bigger ones when it comes to athletes. See how much of an adjustment period it is for him when he comes back from that injury, where he's at, and what that progress is for him. Emmanuel Sharp, all likelihood, probably comes back, and then you have the players that redshirted, Cedric Lott as well, who got some playing time experience. Granted, wasn't necessarily the plan, and it wasn't significant amount, but he did get good stretches where he got some experience that they didn't necessarily expect. And then the redshirts this year in Cordell Jefferson, Jacob McFarland, where do they fit in potentially in the rotation?
Talent won't be an issue next year, okay, or this offseason. That won't be an issue.
And the two signees as well. I forgot about them, but Chase McCarty, Mercy Miller.
Again, go back to what I said. Talent won't be an issue for this team. Getting kids from the portal won't be an issue. It's going to be a question of fit. They're getting phone calls already. Have been since the portal opened. Coach, hey, I'm in the portal now. I'm considering coming to y'all. You know, all they get all that from talented players. So the staff will have to sit down and assess. Okay, if you bring in this player, they might have to say goodbye to that player. If these guys come back, we don't have any room. So the roster may change. If they bring in some veterans, some talented veterans, why would Cordell Jefferson want to hang around? Unless he wants to wait. Will he be good waiting another year? This team, they were too young last year. Coach Sampson said it with Jarris Walker. They were young last season. They got more mature, more veterans for this season. But youngsters in today's day and age, will Jacob McFarland, as much as Coach Sampson believes in Jacob and his potential, says he has a high ceiling. If they go get, I'm not saying they go get a talented big man in the portal. Jacob, wait one more year. Coach, I don't want to do that. I'm ready to play. Talent won't be an issue for this team. It's going to be fit. That's going to be the issue. And it all starts at the point guard spot.
Yeah, I agree. Talent definitely won't be an issue. I think it's just the point guard spot is definitely important. But I also think that the team already has veterans coming back, like Coach Sam's. The veterans that they had this year have been developed within the system. Same thing coming back next year. We got veterans with Terrence, with Emmanuel, with Javier, with JoJo, who's going to be a seasoned sophomore. Those are what you consider as collegiate veterans. And so you can bring in another veteran point guard, or the case may be, but you got big man already. You got Jacob McFarland. You got JoJo coming back. And so, and you got the guards. I think I can envision Mercy playing his freshman year in a spotted minutes role. I think I can envision him having a role not similar to Nate had his freshman year, because I think they're different players, but I can envision him having some form of a role and being able to add something offensively. Because you look at the Achilles heel of this team, it wasn't defensively, it was offensively. Having people to put the ball in the basket and they can win a one-on-one matchup. Even watching this game tonight without Jamal, that's still the name of the game. You can be as tough as you want, you can play as hard as you want, you can do all that for 40 minutes, but it still comes down to who can beat your man off the dribble, put the ball in the hole. Who can do it? Mercy can do that. And so regardless, I think he'll be able to he'll have to earn it in practice. And if he can do that, I expect to have some form of a role. But I think they have veterans already coming back with some of the core players that they have returning. Just about adding and like Chris said, picking in those pieces and plugging them in, picking them the right way, evaluating the right way.
Real quickly to answer Big Bob's comment. Jamal said NBA talent, whether he's first or second round because of his size. Everyone else, I think, at most, at least to start, they would have to work their way up from the G League, if not play overseas.
Everybody else is overseas player. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.